slide. If there's something that actually needs courage to clean up, call me. Because, well, plumbing doesn't always need courage, but sometimes. My first customer is actually you, the city, because if you're not happy, I'm not happy. So I hope to begin a long relationship with Scranton today. Okay, so I'm here to ask you to allow this long-standing but condemned and vacant 4-unit property by putting a parking easement on a nearby empty lot. Since this easement impacts that lot, let's please fix that lot also, which could nicely have a duplex like several neighbors do if you would allow it. So as indicated on my application, I'm asking also for a variance for 2 units at 1013 South Webster. The original application gave you a lot of drawings showing the limits at 1005 South Webster based on the 4-foot setbacks. And I understand it's possible to ask you for 2-foot buffers. And if you do that, then we can get 6 spaces on the alley side of these 2 lots. So 2 between the building and the lot line on 1005 South Webster, and 4 in the 40-foot space on the alley side of 1013 South Webster, because there's 9999 plus 2 plus 2 gets you to 40 feet. That's on your handout that I just passed out, along with the variance and the proposed deed of easement. And I could go into any details you like, but that's my general idea. Again, thank you for hearing me, and I welcome your feedback and corrections.
So, how many units are going to be in that front building there? Just 2?
There's the front building is it's like a twin, but one of the sides is 2. So there's a stairway up, and you go inside, and so it's total 3 in the front building.
Correct.
And there's a 1-bedroom, a 1-bedroom, and then a 2-bedroom on the other
So
side.
there's 3 units in the front building?
Yes, and a rear building.
What's your intentions with that building in the rear?
Leave it as 1 building, 1 unit. You could call it anything from a 1 to a 3-bedroom. It's got a closet in one of them, and the other 2 don't have closets. So in Seattle, that doesn't mean that means those are not bedrooms.
So you're going to call it a 1?
Yeah, sure. I mean, somebody told me that's not code here, but I thought it would be. So anyway, yeah, 1 bedroom works for me.
So you want to put 2 next to that house in the rear? Is that what you're saying? 2 parking spots in the driveway coming in?
Right, there's a little more.
Down the alley a little bit more in the rear of 1013?
Yes.
Is that the correct address, 1013?
4 over there, yes.
Okay. What are you going to do with the front side of that lot?
Okay, well, I mean, I bought it, and so I have it. I would like to be able to do something with it. And what I want is rental income, so I'd like to put a duplex on it and rent that out and hold it forever. But if I can't put a duplex on it, because you guys have to approve that, and you could say no, no is a good answer. But if I don't, then I'll try to sell the front of it as a single-family residence lot, with the encumbrance now on it of the easement that says the rear part is for parking for 1,005. Okay. See, it's complicated. I don't know if anybody would buy it. That's why I'm asking, maybe please let me try to develop it as a duplex.
Well, all we're concerned about tonight is your properties at 1005 and finding additional parking for the ones that you need for 1005 front and back.
Well,
correct. I mean, we're not concerned about your plans for the rest of the use of that lot.
Okay. I mean,
So
I did put it on the application, but okay.
What you need is 6 spots for this project.
Fair enough.
I think what he's saying, Dan, he does has on the application, it does say 2 units at 1013. I didn't. Are we actually voting on that also?
No, because he labeled
Or
it
1,005.
future 2 units at 1013. That wasn't advertised for.
I apologize if there was a
We're
misunderstanding.
just here for 1005.
Correct.
Which needs the 6 parking spots, which would be 2 in the back of 1005 and 4 in the back of 1013. Whatever future development he wants to do with 1013, he'd have to come, he could put a single-family residence on it.
Yeah,
But if he wants
well,
anything
that's,
other than a single-family residence, he would have to come back to us.
Sure.
So do you understand that, sir, that we're not going to vote on that?
No, I'll take that, that's fine. The lot might be slightly short now, because if I give off, I don't know the interpretation of an easement, does that really take the area away from the lot? Because now
No.
it's,
No,
it does not, okay,
as long as
good.
it's an easement, no.
Okay, good. So I gave you the draft of the easement, and if that's the case, then the lot is big enough and it will maintain the 5,000 square foot requirement. If it was deeded
Well,
over.
Again, we're not worried about that apartment. Let's worry about what we're here
I see
for
what you're
tonight.
saying, though.
Yeah.
You're safe.
Okay, good, yeah, I'm happy with that. You can scratch the duplex.
What dimensions we looking for that parking off that alley for 1013?
Off the alley for...
Well, the depth, he's gonna have to chew that lot up.
4.
He's gonna have to come in 20 feet, 24 feet?
Oh, yeah, he's gonna have to at least 20 feet,
Yeah.
at least.
Because he's gonna need a buffer off the alley.
Yeah, 9 by 18 plus the buffer.
So he's gonna need, say, about
22.
24.
Oh, 22, okay, plus buffer, thank you.
Well, what is the width of that 1013?
40.
40. So we can't stack the parking back there, correct?
No.
He has, no, he doesn't have it.
He doesn't have to.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he's got it.
So you can get 3 parking spots, am I correct?
Well, he only needs 2.
He only needs 2 on that
Yeah,
1013?
yeah, and 13, he only needs 2.
No, the other way.
He needs 6 for the whole project. He's only putting 2, but he's only putting 2 in the rear of that 1005.
Right.
So he needs 4 down the other one.
Right, 4 on the 10,000, or 1,005.
No, he's putting 2 at 10,000, or 1,005, and 4
Oh,
at
I'm
13.
sorry, okay.
Well, I guess he does show a couple of different parking diagrams.
Yeah, I don't understand, there's plenty of room to put 4 in the 10,005, or the 1,005.
On, well, those were all the many options I showed you in the drawings in the,
I'm not sure where.
in the
which one
application.
you wanna go with there.
I prefer that we don't go into that backyard like we did one time before here.
thank
That's
you.
just my opinion. I was happier to see that you had something down the street that would accommodate the cars instead of eating up a backyard. But, I mean, that's your call what you want to do.
Well,
As long as he provides 6 between the 2
Right.
lots,
he's good, right?
he would be good, and he can do that.
And the 1,005 lot definitely can handle at least 4.
It's a big space.
That's going into the backyard,
Oh, yeah, and the,
into behind the house and between the front house and the back house.
right.
Well, that scenario paves the access way and then parking at the end of the access way. We'd like to keep the grass there and just park the 2 at the
Yeah,
alley end of 1005 and fit the rest on 1013.
Yeah, that's whatever you.
There's plenty of space. Except for if we want to minimize the pavement space and just park them at the alley ends, like back-end spaces on the end of the alley, then the tightest thing we can do the most is 2 on 1005 and 4 only if there's 2-foot buffers on the side on 1013. Whereas if there's 4-foot buffers, I can only put 3 there,
Right.
which means you'd have to approve, if you want grass, which the neighbor is actually strong about this, then you could only have 3 on the 1013 end, and then you'd have to be happy with 5 spaces instead of 6 for the 4 unit.
Right.
So I'm kind of, I don't, or I could pave the whole thing and put a nice, one way, but I don't know that really anybody wants
I
that.
think your option, this is one of your options, is to utilize more of 1013 for parking.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think that's drawing number, is it C? No. Parking plan A. It's parking plan C, which is page 6 out of 8 in the application. I mean, that gets a lot of spots, but it's a lot of paving.
Is there a garage underneath that house in the back?
I'm sorry,
Is there a
garage?
garage underneath the house in the back?
No,
Okay.
no. Presently, it's dirt, and I expect to pave it on both lots.
What,
He really doesn't need a buffer, because there's only 4 spots. You need a buffer when you have 6 spots.
you talking about for 105?
I'm talking about here. Buffer only.
Is there anyone else here to give testimony in this case?
6 or more.
Please come up.
I have somebody.
He's got 2 feet on.
You're already sworn in from the last time you testified?
Adequate for.
I'm a little confused about the project. On the list here, it says, restore this property back to 4 units. When you say this property, the front house you want to be 4 units?
No.
You want 3 in the front and the single house in the back?
Right.
Okay. Total number of spaces needed according to the rule is
6.
6.
Right.
And you can fit 2?
2 on, well, 2 without paving the interior of the property so that the kids can't play on it. And then if I can put 4 on 1013, then we got 6.
Okay. Also, this was a condemned property, correct?
Condemned and vacant. It's had, I think I'm the 4th owner, and I hope to be the last.
Okay. Are you going to live here in the city?
No, I intend to fix it up, hire a local team, and rent it for the long term.
And do you know that you need to have a property manager?
Oh, yeah, city, has to be city licensed, appropriate people. And not only that, but the plumber, the electrician, the mechanical, the building contractor,
Yeah, they'll have to be licensed.
has to be city, yeah, yeah, you're right.
And when I looked up your actual home address on the assessor site, the address listed on there didn't show
There's a
up.
typo, I just discovered that. It
Yeah.
should be 7804 Northeast 83rd Street instead of East 3rd Street.
Northeast 83rd Street?
Yes, that's my actual address.
Okay. Now, if he has 4 properties, does he have to have a garbage hauler too? 4 units?
Well, there's 3, I think. It's cut off. So, yeah, you would have to have a private hauler.
Okay, so you have to have a private hauler,
For the 4.
At 4, okay?
even though they're in 2 separate homes?
That's a good question. I'd have to find out about that. I'm not sure.
Okay. Because if you do have a private hauler, usually there's the large trash cans that need to be stored somewhere on the property too.
You may not have to because of the 2 separate buildings. Well, I'll do what's needed, so. Yeah,
Okay.
I have to get an answer from the treasury department.
And I do want to say, we do appreciate development in Southside. We do appreciate it, and we like it followed the rules and such. And we also like to be able to know the owners, even though you're going to be completely across the country from us.
Right.
So what brought you to Scranton?
Good question. So I went from the West Coast to Penn, where I went to school, and when I was looking for, rent is my favorite word. So I looked exhaustively from St. Louis to Maine, and especially the big cities, but some small ones. My girlfriend's last name, when she was growing up, is Scranton, and apparently she's related. So I thought, let's check it out. And when I came to visit, I like Scranton. So I found what I'm looking for here, and I don't know, it's the beginning,
Good.
you know.
And do you have any other rental properties that you have developed elsewhere?
Well, just my house in North Seattle.
Okay.
So my fiance said, don't move in. I'm not moving in your house. You move in my house. I said, okay. I turned a 3-bedroom, 1-bath into 6 and 2. And now there's 6 AmeriCorps volunteers in there. You make the dinner, I'll bring the wine. Let's play poker afterwards. Life is really good.
Okay. And I did notice that it's condemned, and on the realty site, it said that the electric needed to be brought up to code.
Yeah,
Is that on the list, or
Yes.
that's, okay,
definitely.
all right.
The outside service is frayed.
Just remember, before he can go into that house, all permits have to be pulled and it will be inspected, so.
That's what I didn't
anything like
know
that'll
which
be
order
taken
we're
care
in.
of.
And for the parking that's going, is that 2 lots away from your house?
So it's not the next door, but the next door.
And it would be access from the alley, and you would have a paved spot or some kind of area?
The whole, width of what you can drive onto would be paved and then access. People walking on the alley around Bill's lot to enter mine from the alley side.
Okay. Because as you know, as the board knows, we don't really go much for backyard parking lots. We prefer to have them somewhere else, but the place has already been developed as at least a double when it was built, it looks like, and the back parking. So you have at least 3, like homes. And then there's, obviously, they converted the second floor of the front home. So, I mean, as long as you can meet the requirements for the parking and the other concerns we have as neighbors, that's fine, for me anyway. I don't know about anyone else that's closer in proximity. My name's Kathleen Madsen. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
I am on Watrous. We're with the Southside Neighborhood Group. Yes.
Anyone else want to offer testimony? All right, we're looking at the parking, we're just discussing a little bit. We're looking at if you could put 3 at the backside of 1013 and 2 where you plan next to that back house. I think the board would be willing to work with you on that, with some stipulations that the parking area at 1013 will be paved. You will go in 22 feet or whatever Mr. Sweeney determines that the correct depth to go back, and that needs to be paved. And you need to have the 4-foot buffers on each side, as well as the...
I was just going to say, Dan pointed out in the ordinance that there's...
They could require any buffers they want, but
Right.
you're saying only 5 spots then?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. But not like you
How about
guys.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that.
And then 2 in the rear of 1005 in the back next to that house, and also pave that area as well. And this way you keep the green backyard, and your future plans with the front of that lot, naturally, you'd have to come before, meet with Mr. Sweeney for whatever you decide you want to do there, and move farther with your plans there. And I think, we spoke to the rest of the board, I think the rest of the board is willing to work that tonight.
So I understand 3 parking spots at 1013 with 4-foot buffers
Correct?
and 2 parking spots at 1005.
Correct. And the only thing I ask is if you could...
All parking spots paved.
Paved.
In the rear of...
In the
10,
rear, yeah, the
10,
backside.
13.
And the only thing I ask is that parking lot 1013 that you're going to use, if you could just please clean the rest of that lot up. And,
Yes,
and make it
of
look
course.
presentable.
No, it's gonna,
Okay.
yeah, I got quotes coming.
Good.
I'm sorry, hopefully not minor point, but there's 22 and a half feet between the building and the fence on 1005, which if I put 2 spaces there, that's 18 wide plus 2 gets 22. But I can't put I could put a 9-inch buffer to the building and then 4 foot on that side, but that's tight.
Well,
So
there's a wrench.
Can I just get the 2 foot on the 10,005 fence side, only for the depth of the 22 feet of the parking? That's,
Technically, with only 2 spots, he doesn't need a buffer.
Doesn't need it, right? Sure.
You're good.
So I would make a motion to vote with the condition for the parking on the 2 lots.
As we just described.
Okay.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Mr. Marks?
Yes.
Chairman Gattens?
Yes, by a vote of 5-0, you have been approved. Good luck with it.
thank you.
Congratulations, Tom. Agenda item number 5, 1663 North Kaiser Avenue. What was that? What was that, smart ass?
Oh, I don't know if that's in here.
Good evening.
Another long evening, huh?
Yeah, I was told I was going to be number 1 today.
You're number 1 in our hearts, so
Okay.
why don't we swear your client in first?
Okay.
All right.
And I want the buyers.
Whoever's going to testify, let's
Yes.
get them sworn in now. We'll be done with it.
Okay. Okay, raise your hands, guys.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
And if individually, you can please state your name and address and spell your last name as you do it, please.
My name is Cindy Brady, B-R-A-D-Y. My address is 348 Four Seasons Drive in Drums, Pennsylvania.
Tom Materazzi, Materazzi, 3 Shaw Drive, Drums, PA.
Anjaneyulu Uppala, UPPALA, 400 Bobcat Line, South Abington, 18411.
Hopefully we'll make this quick for you, gentlemen and ladies. Just want to reintroduce myself. My name is Cindy Brady. I'm from Trademark Realty. I am here representing Mr. Materazzi, who is trying to sell his property at 1663 North Kaiser Avenue. What we're looking for is just a change in the zoning from CG to CN. His mother passed away. There used to be a house there. His mother passed away. It is now a vacant lot. Mr. Sweeney was kind enough to walk it with me. It has a dentist's office on the left, and there is a condemned bar on the right. The property is actually a T, so that there is entrance on Kaiser Avenue as well as on Scranton and what? Fulton, sorry. There is a car and truck repair across the street. Mr. Yapalo just wants to put in a car lot. Okay, he's not trying to do a garage repair, that type of thing. We had it posted. We didn't have any problems with it. I do have the pictures of the properties if you would like to see it. And Mr. Sweeney was helpful in sending out the sketch. I just want to show you so you can see. This is the car lot that literally is across the street. This is the property that we're looking at. This is the dentist. This is the bar that is condemned. And then this has all been cleaned out. So it would make a big difference. So this is across the street, that's the garage, and then it's all businesses around it. Okay. Do you want these? I can.
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
And I brought this, last month we didn't have the buyer, so he is here in case you had questions for him.
How many cars altogether do you intend on putting on that lot?
20, sir.
Pardon me?
20.
20?
And there is parking on the top T for his employees. He only needs 3 to 5 parking spaces for clients, and they are putting a mobile office that's going to be 500 square feet. Oh, here.
The total number of cars, the spots, is it 20 or is it 35?
It's 20. We actually measured, we used 9 foot by 14 foot, I think, for the parking spaces.
9 by 18.
9 by 18, sorry. It's right there in front of my.
Well, he's asking for 20 spaces. The drawing shows spots for as many as 35.
Yeah, and that's, maybe it's confusion, but, okay,
Yeah,
we have
yeah.
20 spots on the top right and then 15 spots on the
Right.
main lot that we're looking at that
Right,
faces Kaiser.
exactly. He's,
So is there more spots in that off Fulton?
no, the spots off of Fulton would be for customer parking and for employee parking. I believe the 20 spots that he's looking for will come down the length of along the side of the vacant house.
Yeah.
15 there, and then he plans on putting another 5 or so, but he has the room for up
Yeah.
to 20, behind the vacant house.
That's not utilizing the main leg coming down to Kaiser Avenue then?
I'm sorry?
If he's only going to use 20, that's just behind the vacant house. He has
Well,
room.
he's planning on, from my discussions with him at least, he's planning on putting 15 spots in the middle section of the T, where I have it marked 15 spots. So he'll have 15 cars at an angle going down there, and then he would have another 5 out back, behind the vacant house.
Jack, he's
But there's
allowed-
room for as many as 20 there.
He's allowed to have a mobile office? It's not-
Yeah, well, that would
has to
be-
be on a foundation, doesn't it?
That would be up to the state. I don't know what maybe you might be able to put more light onto that. I don't know what the requirements are for the state, but from what I understand,
Most of the mobile offices.
Most of the yeah.
Most of the small car lots, everything mobile offices, every one of them.
I know it has to have utilities, and I know it has to have a bathroom, because we've been
Yeah,
having
we
this
built
problem
up
with
the
another,
bathroom.
another lot back there.
We are built up.
But I believe so.
Yeah, and the plumbing and electric are already there because it used to be a house. There used to be a house there.
I don't know, when I opened up 20 years ago, we had to be on a foundation, no matter what it was.
Well, it was a house up until Mr. Materazzi's mother passed away in 2011.
He's not saying that.
No.
If I'm correct, he's saying that the office has to
The
be. on
office
foundation.
building he's
Oh,
talking about, how is that gonna be
Can't just be
mounted?
plopped on the ground.
Yeah, you can't like what he's inquiring about is how you're going to mount, or how you're gonna put the office
They put
on
the
a foundation? Is it gonna be on a foundation?
They put the cement on the top of the ground,
They put cement on top of it.
make like the plot like a,
Yeah, well, again, it's gonna have to.
make the platform like a cement
It's gonna have
platform,
to-
they put it on the
I can imagine
top.
it's gonna have to have a foundation, Sean.
Well, that's what he's saying, it's going to have a cement,
It has to have a bathroom.
I mean, then if he goes paving, he's gonna have to have any kind of water detention system there? I mean, you're talking about a big area.
Well, again, what the state requires, I don't know. You know, it would be up to him, in other words, to meet all those requirements with the state as far as the office building itself and whatever other requirements they have.
and we're
Do you-
just
do you-
asking.
Do you plan on fixing any cars on that site at all?
No.
So if you have a car that comes in that has a flat tire, you're not going to fix it there. If you have a car that comes in that needs an oil change, you're not going to fix it there.
We use the garages, outside garages.
Okay. How about as far as washing cars? You're going to wash cars, so nothing at all will be done there? Okay, thank you.
And he has more than one car lot, so it's,
Where's the other one at?
In Duryea, 511 Main Street, next to the Borough Building.
and he has other properties in Scranton.
Yeah, I got a lot.
So he does work in Scranton as far, not car dealerships, but rental properties and things like that. Right now, it's vacant, and it's just been causing a problem. I don't, we're trying to fix it and alleviate Mr. Materazzi to keep paying the taxes. And both neighbors, the dentist, Dr. Regan, he has no problem with it, and he did not want to buy the property for parking. He doesn't need it. And Mr. Chimmel, who has the bar on the right side, he's not interested in it either.
Jack, he has all the clearances. He's got, actually, that middle lot coming down to Kaiser Avenue is actually only 42 feet wide once we take the buffers off it. And parking the cars diagonally raises it up to 21 feet for the parking spot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so does he have enough clearance still
Yeah,
to
oh,
back
yeah.
the cars out?
He's got 50 foot there.
Okay.
And I measured it myself.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
the drawing is not the best, but the figures are correct.
Is there anyone else here to give testimony to the case? Please come up.
Oh, I guess we need to move over.
Raise your right hand, thank you. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address and spell your last name.
Tim Maloney, Maloney, 1221 Fulton Street, Scranton, PA.
Thank you. You can proceed.
They're right, the dentist is on one side, the bar is on the other. What they're forgetting about is me and all the residences behind them. The property they're talking about that runs the T is the old O&W Railroad. I've been there 20 years. Most people don't know there's a whole section of town up in there. There's several houses. We've been up there 20 years or so. I've been mowing the property for 20 years because nobody else does. What I've found is the traffic on our side roads is great. It's a great place for kids because there's no traffic. You hit Kaiser Avenue. I don't know if any of the rest of you guys have ever tried Kaiser Avenue between 3 and 5 at night or 7 or 9 in the morning. It's impossible. If you had an egress on Fulton, which there is none, or on Stanton, which I guess they just tore down a house, it's going to add more traffic right there anyway, so make it even harder for us above Kaiser to ever get out on Kaiser Avenue. The whole area is residential. As soon as you get back behind Pizza Plus, which is where we're talking, it's a residential area. And I think the lights, the noise would definitely hurt the neighborhood. There was others going to be here tonight, but I guess they got wind that it was going to be a long one, so they didn't show up. And there you have it.
What do you think about that?
Any questions?
I have to mention something. You know, we've had this property listed since January, and Mr. Matarazzi and I have gone up there more than once, and we actually had people squatting on it, and none of the neighbors said anything to us that there was a trailer there was this guy just squatting there, things like that. I mean, yeah, so, I mean, his mom lived there, he tried to keep it in the family, he can't afford it. If we leave it like it is, it's just gonna get worse. I'm sure there are people squatting in the bar, because when we walked it, we saw, is that your phone?
I live right behind the bar. I've never seen anybody there.
There, yeah.
And his father is there daily, every other day to check the bar. Corey Camille.
But we don't, he doesn't plan on coming. I know where your neighborhood is, because we walked around.
I know,
it.
I fucking-
You saw us, you know, we talked. So we're not trying to get it up there. We just
Well,
want,
you gotta remember, from Kaiser Avenue to next to my property is about a 10 or 12-foot rise.
Well,
that goes straight up.
well, yeah, there's the Curry Donuts, there's
yeah.
I mean, it's all commercial on this strip.
Right, but as soon as you get to the end of your mom's property, it goes up a good 8 to 10 feet before you hit the railroad bed.
And
Yeah, the railroad bed is 30 feet wide, and it slides
Well,
down.
it says it's 30 foot, but
Well, I know.
you've seen the shape of it. It cuts in about 15 feet. That's
Okay.
all.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know, sometimes I figure, damn if I do, and damn if I don't. I wouldn't know.
Raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address and spell your last name.
Maureen Maloney, Maloney, 1221 Fulton Street, Scranton, PA. So I heard a couple of things discussed here. Maybe his mom did own the property in between the dentist office and where Rosie's Bar used to be before it was condemned. But the piece of property that we're talking about, the T part, was just bought about 6 years ago from Art Rinaldi. It was not part of his family's estate, and it's been adjacent right next to our property. So it was brought to my attention by one of our neighbors, and I'm sorry I didn't know your last name, that someone requested a zoning change last month. And I'm here because this parcel of land is butted right up against our property. So when I looked into it, and I looked at the zoning board ordinance, in the ordinance 108.G, it states that notification of proposal requires a return receipt be given to the property owners if it abuts their property. We never received such notice. Now, Jack, I know that you put up some signs on the poles. But it rained a lot then, so I only heard from somebody else, and exactly what it was about, I didn't know. So I have no knowledge of this, except from what I'm getting here at the hearing tonight, and I feel that this should have been brought to our attention ahead of time instead of kind of behind the scenes.
There wasn't anything behind the scenes. It was in the newspaper twice in the legal section. Over here.
I object, what,
Okay.
well, I mean,
Yeah, I understand.
by the property owner. I'm just going by the ordinance that's in the zoning board ordinance, that we should have received a certified letter telling us of this. From not from here, but from the property owner or the person requesting it themselves. So I'm here to just say that I object to this being commercially zoned for the following reasons. One, I'm concerned for the safety in our neighborhood, the traffic. If you were to drive up Fulton Street, you can barely fit two cars going one up and one down at the same time. The roads are very, very narrow. It's located right off of Kaiser Avenue. It's an extremely busy section. I feel that it's detrimental to the safety and well-being of our neighborhood. It's going to diminish our property value. I don't understand why that would need to be commercially zoned in the T if he had no intention of putting cars there. And to say that they're going to have employees park there, I'm not sure how they could, because back when they did the construction on Kaiser Avenue, maybe about 8 years ago or so, I'm guessing, they put these huge drainage going across that whole front of that property line on Fulton Street. PennDOT put them in there. So you can't even drive in to that partial land from Fulton Street. And just that we've maintained the property for the last 20 years because nobody ever took care of it. We go over there, we mow the lawn, the tree branches come down during a storm, we're the ones over there yanking it out. As far as the trailer on the other side of it, that was actually owned by somebody else, and he recently sold it to somebody who had the trailer torn down.
Why did they tear the trailer down?
The person who owned it lived across the street from the woman who originally owned it went into a nursing home, and it wasn't maintained. And so then the guy across the street bought it from the bank, I'll say, but I'm not sure. And then he sold it.
There was people living in the trailer.
I'm not disputing that they are, but I'm going to be honest with you. I have a 13-year-old who lives with me, and I really don't want people that are like butted right up against my property, parking their cars, coming in and out, the lights shining in on our house. I'm just totally against it.
Just as clarification, it is already zoned commercial.
No, it's not. We live in a residential neighborhood. My house is residential.
It's zone CN, it's commercial.
Why are we here for zoning for commercial?
CG. But besides that, I have seen the bills that he's paid to the guy cutting the grass, and
You know what, I'm not gonna stand here and argue with you. There has been nobody cutting that grass, and I am entitled to my opinion without being interrupted.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Alex, could you testify as far as the difference when you first saw the lot?
Mike cut the grass. Mike, right?
Mike Ascenzi?
Yes, I talked to him. He cut the grass, I'll be there. Also, he trimmed the trees too.
He trimmed everything, he did all of it.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else give testimony?
What is the railroad zone as?
I make a motion.
It's commercial.
Second.
I understand you want to sell this property, but I don't think it's a good fit for that property. I'm going to vote no.
Mr. Morris?
No.
Ms. Patel?
No.
Mr. Marks?
No.
Chairman Gattens?
No. By a vote of 5-0, your request for variance has been denied. Thank you.
agenda item number 6, 605, 607 Hampton Street.
Good evening. If you both could raise your right hand, we're going to swear you both in. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. If you start with you, state your name and address, spell your last name.
My name is Miguel A. Cepeda, CEPEDA, 1614 Pittston Avenue.
Thank you.
My name is Dionisio Fernandez, FENRNDC. I live in 1102 Cedar Avenue.
Thank you very much. You can proceed.
I'll be speaking for my uncle just to have better understanding. My uncle recently purchased this property about a month or so ago. It is our understanding that because it was condemned, it got rezoned back to a two-family. We are looking for a variance to zone it back to a four-unit building. 3 of the units are 2 bedrooms. 1 is more like a studio apartment. There is a 4-car garage in the back. However, the way it's built, only 3 cars fit in, so one of the things that we're looking to do to alleviate street parking is fit it so that we can actually put 4 vehicles in and not impede more on street parking on Hampton Street, which is a one-way street.
When you say the way the garage is situated, it could fit 4 cars, but it only fits 3?
Yeah, there's like a wall inside, between, more to the right side of it, the way the wall is there, you can't fit 4 cars, you can only fit 3.
Well, I was there, and it looked to me like a 2-car door and a 1-car door.
Yeah, me too. I don't know how you would fit a 4th stall there.
Because what's an average car door?
Well, you gotta have
Garage
9
door,
feet.
12, 9?
Was there like a wall space? I was there maybe once. So
Yeah,
the way,
yeah.
lengthwise, I
At
thought
first
it was
glance, it looks like it's a 4-car garage, but it's really a 3-car
3,
garage.
okay.
And the problem is, there's no way to get around the garage to use the backyard for additional parking.
There's a walkway, you mean from the back of the house?
Well, for example, if you were going to try to add additional parking to the backyard, there's not enough room alongside either side of the garage to put a driveway in to access the backyard, to put more parking to satisfy the requirements.
That's correct, just the garage space.
There's 2 walls
'Cause
there.
the way it's leveled,
The
too.
the lay of the land makes it very difficult.
Yeah, the garage
It's
is-
impossible.
It's higher than the house itself.
Yeah, so you're stuck with 3 spots, basically. I don't know how you can get it any more in.
Okay.
And I went over twice to look at it, to try to figure it out, and I just don't see it.
We don't know how long the house sat condemned, but I did get a hold of the prior owner, but she did tell me that it was occupied, all 4 units, however long she was there.
I spoke to some of the neighbors over there, and I mean, naturally, they expressed concerns that they would like to see the house developed, but their main concern is parking, because when I was there, you can't even move on that street on that one side, and they're concerned about the spillover parking that's going to come over to their side as well. I don't know what your solution is here. I don't know if
I was going to ask if you did any price workups to see how many units you could put in there. In other words, you could go 2 units. Yeah. Right, you could go 2 without having to get any approval. Whether the board would consider 3 or not, it would be up to the board, but I don't know how you could how you could expect 4 under the circumstances.
Okay. Can I just explain everything to him?
Sure,
So he knows?
sure.
So el problema es los parqueos, que como el espacio...
The applicant
ellos
speaks no English.
Lo resonan automáticamente a las 2 y en el garaje no se
What's
puede,
that?
no caben los 4 carros. Entonces ellos dicen que pues, si lo dejan en realidad de que tú puedas hacerlo.
Bring that up, that's a good idea.
Obviamente nada más dejarlo como 2.
Yeah. Well,
Construirlo que sea de 2
well,
familias,
bring it
no
up,
de-
Bob.
No de 4. Yeah.
What would the possibility be of taking the garage down? Because I think if you took the garage down, you'd have 4 spots on a parking pad back there.
Él dice que tumbando el garaje tiene la posibilidad
Where we-
de tener 4 carros. So, tumbando el garaje. He'd be good with that. Put like a concrete slab for the 4 vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, the garage is in bad shape anyway, so it's not like it's
Yeah.
any big asset to the property.
This is his first dealing with like a condemned house, so
Yes,
it's like all
yes.
uncharted
And-
territory
and
for
do me a
us,
favor,
so.
please tell him to stop buying these properties without checking with us. He bought this property without,
He's willing to tear down the garage though.
What did you say the size, you guys were in the property, I would take it?
Yeah, like I said before, 3 units are 2 bedrooms, and the 4th one is more like a studio apartment. 4 bedrooms, 1 central heating for everything.
And would you be willing to tear the garage down for the 4 spots?
Yeah.
And I mean, since it's only a studio apartment, I think what the board was thinking, what if you did 3 units instead of the studio? And
Ellos preguntan que si no se ha convertido el estudio en la tercera parte, como ella dice, convertirlo en 3.
you know, maybe he could come back to us in the future if he was able to find a little more parking for that extra unit, you know?
Okay.
Which might be possible, because the house to the right looks like it's in the same condition. And there's a lot, so,
it's part of that house that's it's on the, I don't know if it's on the demo list. I think it's on the demo list,
yeah.
but not this year, next year.
Which property are you guys referring
That would be the
If
one
you're
very,
looking at your property to the right.
to the right?
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be possibly available, or I mean, we
in
can't
the future, it looks
predict
like.
that, but there might be someone we're talking to there about acquiring it for more parking.
Okay.
So that would be the property to the right,
Okay.
from the, if you're looking at it from the street.
Is that property city-owned now, or is it owned by the current owner, whomever?
I'm not sure, we'd have to look into that, but.
But it is on the
It's
demo
something that you
list?
could possibly, down the road,
Okay.
work out to get that other unit opened for the future.
Okay. Que ya cuando si la ponen en venta, la propiedad puede reapropiar.
So Jack, I'll make a motion to knock down the garage for the 4 spots and open up 3 units.
Second?
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Mr. Marks?
Yes.
Chairman Gattens?
Yes, by a vote of 5-0, you've been approved with the conditions of 3 units, take the garage down, and 4 spots in the back.
Thank you.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
Not yet.